Welcome to our 7:30 team call. This is Michelle Alleman, my husband Mike. And
Yo,
woo, we have a very special guest today. Uh, got a chance to meet Pete about 3 months ago. Maybe not, maybe it was longer than that. It was at our Treasure Island back last year.
Yep.
National Convention.
National
We'll call
Convention,
that.
January of this year. And got to have lunch with you, got to really get to know you a little bit more and learn more about your products. And I really would love for you to share tonight, about your company, American Amicable, Occidental Life. Pete is right in our home state of Texas, so he's in Waco. So he's not only a friend, he's a neighbor. So and I've had a great success so far with Occidental. I've written a few policies and just loving it. So without any further ado, Pete, take over the call. If you need to share your screen, we'll go ahead and make that available.
Yep, he's got that. So he's good to go.
Yeah, Mike does. Mike's got it ready. And Mike, I didn't tell you hello, and I'm guessing you're responsible for the music to start this. So I appreciate that. You're getting everybody going. Is that you?
Gotta get it going. That's me.
You got to. Well, thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. Let me navigate through this thing 1 second so I can share.
Yeah, Mike is not only
We're
music man, he's the technology.
Well, I may need Mike to help me through this here, because sometimes me and technology don't get along. You guys should have it now.
We see it. You're good. There you go.
All right. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, again, thanks. I appreciate you having me on. I mean, we're so excited about this relationship. The reputation that you guys have and the alliance, I mean, it's second to none. And I mean that sincerely. Everybody knows who everybody is nationwide with the alliance, and just the excitement and the respect that we have for all of you. The jobs that you do is off the charts. As Michelle and Mike were saying, my name is Pete Mejia. I'm the Director of Marketing Sales here for the American Amicable Group of companies. A couple of things about us to start out. First of all, and I think it's a slide or two later, many of you are contracted with Occidental. Know that we actually have 5 companies, but we are all 5 are AM best rated A, excellent, very financially strong and secure. You may have noticed already we have a very broad portfolio of products. I think I want to say you guys have access to every single product. I think there's 13 or 14 products that you have access to with us. We pride ourselves in exceptional customer service. That is one thing that, every now and then we may not be the most liberal in regards to underwriting. We're not going to be the cheapest and premium all the time. But if we're not being exceptional in customer service, I hope that you all feel free to let me know, because that's something that we can control. And we strive to control that on a daily basis. And with all that being said, that comes hand in hand with wanting to earn your business. You have choices. I think it's a wonderful thing that you have choices. We know that have to earn it. We've got to do what we say we're going to do. We've got to be responsive. We have to give you all access to products that make sense for your clients. We've got to return phone calls and emails, and that's something that we love doing. We are an agent-friendly carrier. We strive on being an agent-friendly carrier, and we don't just want to earn your business now. We want to continue to earn your business for another 10, 15, 20, 25 years, however long you're in the business. As I mentioned, we actually do have 5 companies underneath the umbrella of the American Amicable Group. You guys are contracted. Most of you are contracted, if not all of you are contracted with Occidental. Know that there's no difference. There's no difference in the underwriting. Make a long story short, Jim Henson actually has a history with Occidental. And also, Occidental has the most coverage throughout the United States. There's a few states where Occidental's not in, but more often than not, the state availability is going to be through Occidental. If you have an American Amicable number, it's probably because you're going to write business in the state where Occidental is not active. But again, there is no difference in the premium, no difference in the underwriting, no difference in the products. A couple of things that Michelle and Mike wanted me to go over was the final expense product and also some term products. And we're going to get into that right away because everyone's time is sensitive. American Legacy is the final expense product for ages 50 through 85. The American Guardian is for those that are between the ages of 0 to 49. You're going to see in the next couple of slides, they're almost the exact same products. Biggest difference to realize about our final expense is that we actually have on our 50 to 85 product, we actually have 3 different death benefit plans based on health. We have the immediate, or commonly referred to as day one coverage, of course. We have a graded, and we have return of premium. Unique aspect to our final expense is our graded is a true graded. There's some other carriers out there that have a graded product, but it's actually return of premium. So know that if you look through our underwriting guides and see that someone qualifies for the graded product, and then they qualify through the graded product for another carrier, ours is going to be a no-brainer. You should write it because the graded death benefit is a 30% of the death benefit paid in year 1. If death were to occur in year 1, 70% of the death benefit will be paid to the beneficiary if death is to occur in year 2, and then 100% years 3 and beyond. So that's very different than a return of premium. Now, we do have the return of premium for those that are in the poorest of health. If it's between the ages of 0 to 64, that wait period is 3 years. If you're looking at the ages of 65 to 85, it's a 2-year wait period on that. So it would be return of premium plus 10% if the insured were to die during that period of time, and then 100% years 3 or after years 3 or after year 2 based on their health at the time of application. Also know that we will pay no matter graded or return of premium. If it's an accidental death, we are going to pay 100% of that death benefit. So if they only qualify for return of premium and they're 66 years old, they get killed in a car accident 6 months later, in that case, we will pay 100% of the death benefit. Last thing to mention is our declination rate on this product is only around 6 to 7, 8%. So chances are you're going to be able to issue something with us. And that's one of the reasons why we feel that we have a shot at being your number one go-to carrier for your final expense products. There's a lot of, we have a lot of riders. We're very proud of the riders. Now, I'm not going to get into great detail. You'll see them on here. I'll try not to just burn through them. But again, in the interest of time, I'm not going to get into them in a whole lot of detail. A couple that I will mention is our grandchild rider and our nursing home waiver of premium rider. The grandchild rider can be added, first of all, on all 3 death benefit plans. So whether they qualify for immediate, graded, or return of premium, we can have the grandchild rider on those policies. And those grandchild riders, there is no limit. I think the record is 12 or 15. For some reason, I get those 2 numbers confused, but we've got an active policy out there that's got 12 grandchildren and great-grandchildren covered on that plan. It is only $1 per month per grandchild per unit. So for $5 a month, you can cover 5 grandchildren. It does protect their future insurability, so they can convert this product up to age 20. So if they were to have an event that would deem them uninsurable, they are going to be able to convert it up to 5 times the face amount that you have on the application. So that's a great benefit. And the other reason why I like to mention this product is persistency. Name of the game in your business is write business and keep it on the books. Can you imagine Mrs. Jones calling you, telling you that she's thinking about canceling her final expense? She just doesn't want to pay the premium anymore. And you can easily ask her, Miss Jones, what about your grandchildren? I understand times are tough, but don't forget, you've got 5 of your grandchildren covered on that policy. Talk about making someone think twice about canceling a case. if they've got their grandchildren on there, you can be sure they're going to find a way to keep that policy on the books. The other one that's super popular is the nursing home waiver of premium rider. Now, this one is not as popular in regards to volume because they do have to qualify for the immediate death benefit plan for our nursing home waiver of premium rider. But if they qualify for that immediate death benefit plan, super popular. Everyone knows people that are going into nursing homes. Nursing homes are getting used more and more. They're not getting any cheaper. What a great benefit to add to this final expense policy is that nursing home waiver of premium rider. And if they are confined to a nursing home for 90 consecutive days, we'll waive the premium forward. That's one thing they won't have to worry about. Their final expense to take care of, even while they're in the nursing home. We'll waive that premium and move on. The children's insurance agreement can be added on the final expense for anyone applying that's between the ages of 15 to 60. So it can technically be added to either the American Guardian or the American Legacy based on their age. That works a little bit differently, and I'll talk more about the children's insurance agreement when we get into the term. Accidental death, it's not unique. Everybody's got an accidental death can be added as well. Oh, there we go. I was delayed. There are two. I skipped over them. Let's see if I can go back. There are two riders that are only available on the 0 to 49 final expense. Spouse rider can be added if they don't want to get their own plan. And a waiver of premium can be added to that American Guardian 0 to 49 if necessary. But we're not going to do that, either one of these, for the 50 to 85 product. Both of them do come with two no-cost riders. The terminal illness, again, that's not unique, but we also have a confined care no-cost rider. So if they have the final expense plan and they're confined to a nursing home for at least 30 days, they can begin to accelerate that face amount with a monthly benefit up to 5% of the face amount, not to exceed $5,000. So if they do go into that nursing home, they may need help paying until some benefits kick in. They will be able to accelerate some of that death benefit, so that can be used to help for their care, for their nursing home care. In our agent guides, which we strongly recommend that agents have very handy, you can get them on our order supply site. You can save them. You don't have to order them. You can, but you don't have to. You can save them to your desktop. In those agent guides, that we have an impairment listing guide and we have a prescription reference guide. And that will help you if you are at a home, at a kitchen table, let's say tomorrow evening, for example, and you're not super familiar with our products. That's something that you can refer to, and you can, after you do your field underwriting, you can refer to our agent guides to see how we're going to handle those types of conditions and whether or not we will be an immediate or we need to apply for graded. So we strongly encourage those of you that aren't super familiar with us to have those handy. But we do have a decision engine on the 50 to 85 American Legacy product on our e-app. So with our e-app, and you see at the top, it says face-to-face, but we do have a decision engine also. The second bullet point, if you are selling over the phone, we will allow you to sell over the phone. We started doing that during this pandemic, and we are going to provide you with a decision engine. Now, one thing to mention, because this hadn't been updated, but just recently we added voice signature and email for signature to our final expense 50 to 85 product. So whatever the best way is for the client to sign, if you're selling it over the phone, we've made that accommodation for you all. Of course, if it's face-to-face, they can sign on the screen, whether it be with a mouse or if you're doing the application on a tablet, they can simply sign with their finger. And then after you submit the application, it's when you will get the decision engine. Now, the great news about the decision engine is, well, it's multiple, to be honest. But probably the best thing about the decision engine is that the longest wait time that I've ever heard an agent having to wait for any type of feedback is 27 seconds. So chances are you're going to get a decision after you submit the application to us. You're going to get a decision back in about 10 to 15 seconds. So you're going to very quickly know if you need to move forward, if there's something going on, if you see something in the prescription database, how to continue to move forward. Are you going to continue with the application? Are you going to challenge it, which you can with us? Or quite honestly, if it's a decline, we're going to give you why it's a decline based on medications. And now, if you need to pivot to carrier number 2, you've got the answers to the test, so to speak. I'm going to get more into that in a moment. But there's 6 different decisions that you will see on the screen. One is the one we're all shooting for, which is the firm approval for the plan applied for. You can get an approval for you can get a conditional approval, and that would be if we already have them in the system. Perhaps they've applied multiple times before with us. Perhaps they've got an existing policy already. Those are the type of situations where you would see a conditional approval. I think the best decision, I shouldn't say the best is the firm approval. But I think the most powerful decision is an approval for plan other than applied for. For example, you go through an application, you submit it, and it comes back, it's been approved, but it's been approved for graded, or it's been approved for return of premium. In those cases, we will tell you the reason for the decision. And we tell you the medication. So let's say, for example, they're on gabapentin. They didn't tell you about gabapentin, and you get an approval for graded. Gabapentin can be used for a pinched nerve in the back. It can be used for seizures. It can be used for complications due to diabetes. You guys know all that. But if you get that, and it will err on the side of the most conservative, but if you get that decision, approved for a plan other than applied for, reason, gabapentin, and you look over to Mrs. Jones and say, Mrs. Jones, you didn't tell me about this gabapentin. And she says, well, that's right. I forgot about that. I got prescribed gabapentin about 7 months ago when I was moving furniture in my living room. Oh, that makes complete sense. Then there is a radio button below a question. Would you like to provide more details? Simply select yes, and then type into the comments box, Mrs. Jones was prescribed gabapentin because she pinched a nerve in her back 7 months ago. Please reconsider for immediate. Send it into us. We're going to look at it. We're going to see that one prescription for gabapentin on there and say that makes complete sense. We're going to turn around and issue it as immediate. No one listens to agents more than we do. In those types of situations, we highly encourage you to quote unquote challenge it, make us look deeper. If there's 20 prescriptions fills for gabapentin, we know that she didn't just pinch a nerve in her back, but we're going to see just that one fill 7 months ago and turn around and issue it immediate. Again, I promise you, no one's going to do that better than we do. You can get a decline, and which again, there's power to that, because if you get a decline, we tell you why. You're able to pivot to carrier number 2 or number 3, whichever one's going to accept it. You've got the answers to the test right there in front of you. If you get a refer to home office, it's probably because there's MIB codes, and we can't make a positive or a negative decision based on MIB codes alone. But that's probably why you would get one. You only get those about 25% of the time. 75% of the time, we end up issuing it as applied for. And if there is a telephone interview needed, we will tell you. You can go ahead and do it at the point of sale because we will provide the vendor information. But know that literally this entire year so far, and we don't have this month's data, but I do know that it's gone back 3 or 4 months. We're only ordering telephone interviews less than 2% of the time. And we do that because it's either a payor situation. I thought I had it spelled out in here. Yeah, I do. It's either because of a payor situation, so it's other than the proposed insured, a significant other, spouse, or child, or if they're between the ages of 71 to 85 and we don't find them in either prescription database. And we check 2 prescription databases. So again, in real world numbers, you're only going to have to do a telephone interview around 1.8, 1.9% of the time. So in a nutshell, That's our final expense. We do more final expense than any other product. It just so happens that most of our IMOs focus mainly on final expense. We certainly have some brilliant term products that we're going to go over here in a moment. But we are very well known for our final expense product. And we think that you will be very happy if we, as I said at the beginning, earn the right to earn some of your business. With our term products, there's three main ones, and I end up putting them all together because they're a lot more similar than they are different. And it's a little bit easier to go over all three at one time because they are so similar. All three term products are standard through Table 4 underwriting, except reject. So there's no rating up and having to go ask for more money. All three term products have no cost chronic, no cost confined care, and no cost terminal illness. There are some differences in the max face amount, but the highest max face is term made simple, and you can write up to $500,000 on that one. They're all simplified issues, so there's no exam, no blood work, no home office specimen ever with these three term products. There's some small differences in term durations. As you see here, Easy Term has a 10, 20, and a 30. Home Protector does not have a 10, but it does have a 15 and a 25. And then Term Made Simple has a 10, 15, 20, and 30. With our terms, all three are convertible. If they are in the level paying premium period up to age 75, they can convert to whole life without any underwriting. No evidence of insurability is required for our conversion. So that's a great benefit. And I believe that's the longest convertible period that's out there on the market. So, you know, you can have someone, if they're still in that level premium period, that's up to 75 years old, and it's time for them to look at final expense. They don't have that term need anymore. You can convert it, no problem. Return of premium is huge. One thing to know about the return of premium, and I'll talk more about that in a moment, very widely used on both Easy Term and Home Protector. There's a misprint there. It should be Home Protector, not Home Protection. But return of premium is available on those two. Return of premium is not available on Term Made Simple. And now we get into the small differences. So I get asked all the time, which one should I write? First of all, I'm not the sales expert, you all are. But to give you an idea, if you're doing some fact finding and they are mentioning return of premium as attractive to them, you don't want to show them Term Made Simple. Put it off to the side. And there's some more scenarios like that where you can kind of eliminate a product here and there just to find the best fit for them. Where you can issue an Easy Term up to age 70. So you can do a 10-year Easy Term product to for up to a 70-year-old. Max face on that product is $300,000. For the Home Protector, you can do a 15-year term up to age 65. Max face $300,000. Also know that Home Protector has unisex rates, so there is no male-female rate on the Home Protector. And the big one with the Term Made Simple, you could you could do a 10-year term up to age 75 for Term Made Simple. So that is, again, that's one of those unique things about us. That is, I believe, the highest you can go on any term product out there. And again, max face on Term Made Simple, $500,000. We do have preferred rates on Term Made Simple that I won't get into a whole lot during this presentation. Just know that if you're going to apply for a preferred on Term Made Simple, it's still or applying for Home Protector or Easy Term. A lot of great riders, just like our final expense. We have a lot of riders available to you. I'm not going to get into those a whole lot. For the most part, they're all available on all three. The only difference here is, again, I mentioned return of premium only being available for Easy Term and Home Protector. We do have a spouse term rider that's only available on Home Protector and not the other two. The one rider that I do want to talk about just briefly Well, these are our no-cost riders: terminal, confined care, and chronic. Of course, chronic, the no-cost chronic is very popular. And unfortunately, we're maybe living longer, but we're not necessarily living healthier. So that chronic illness does come into play and is a huge benefit at no cost. But the one rider that I wanted to talk about, well, I'm excited about talking about critical illness, if you can't tell, because I keep jumping ahead on slides here. Let's talk about return of premiums, and that's where we are. On beginning at year 20, so a 20, a 25 on a home protector, or a 30 on easy term or home protector, you can add return of premium. And think of it as a rider because you do have to add it on there. There are a couple of unique aspects to our return of premium as opposed to others out there. Number one, I will tell you, we do not return 100% of their premium at the end. The most that we do return is 75%. However, we do have two benefits. There's one carrier out there that I know of that if you have return of premium on their term, their no-cost benefits go away. Ours do not. So if you add return of premium to an easy term, for example, that chronic illness is still going to be there. The other unique aspect about a return of premium is this. They don't have to wait. Let's say it's a 20-year term. And with all the other 100% return of premiums out there, they usually have to wait until you're 15, 16, 17 in that range for there to be any return in a cash value, so to speak. With ours, it doesn't work that way. They don't have to wait that long to have access to that. Our return of premium starts building around years 3 or 4. So by year 10, there are some options in there. Let's say, for example, they just wanted to purchase a reduced paid up. They can use that return of premium that's built up over time, over the first couple of policy years. And they will be able to do that. Of course, they could surrender the policy and take the cash, but they've got a lot more options beginning in years 3, 4, all the way to year 15 than they do with some other carriers. So although it's not 100%, there are some benefits to ours. And the exciting one that I've been itching to get at is the critical illness. Now, our critical illness is for cost. We understand that everyone out there has a no-cost critical illness. We looked at it. We looked at it very hard. We communicated with the field. We communicated with all of our agent partners. And overwhelmingly, our agent partners asked us to please keep it at a for-cost rider. Reason being is twofold. Number one, it gives you all an option, okay? So if there is a need for critical illness and they want to go ahead and they don't mind paying the extra premium for it, they will end up getting what they paid for, okay? They can elect at the time of application to accelerate 25, 50, or 100%, not to exceed 100,000 if they have a critical event such as a heart attack, stroke, invasive cancer. The other reason they wanted us to keep this for-cost critical illness is because it's easy to understand. Again, they're electing at the time of application how much they're going to want to accelerate. If there is a invasive cancer claim, for example, on our for-cost critical illness, there is no actuarial calculation. There is no how severe is it. There is no how long am I expected to live after this event. With the no-cost critical illness, all that stuff comes into play, and they may only end up getting about $15,000, which, again, hey, something is better than nothing. But with ours, you can show them something better than something is better than nothing. If, for example, they have a $200,000 easy term and they have elected a 100% critical illness rider on there, we are going to accelerate up to $100,000 minus the administrative fee, which I believe is $150. It may be $250, but I want to say it's $150. That's it. No questions asked. Easy to understand, easy to sell, great benefit for the client at a very reasonable premium. We're not talking about, $25 per $1,000 of coverage. I mean, it is, it's in the $1, $2, $3, $4 per thousand range. So it's not it's super popular, and we, in our experience, it's not a hang up for our agent partners. And again, just to reiterate, we were asked by our agent partners to keep it on board. So we feel it's a great benefit. Waiver of premium can be added. Waiver of premium for unemployment can be added. The children's insurance agreement, just briefly, because I'm running out of time. The children's insurance agreement, the biggest difference between the children's insurance agreement on term and on final expense for that matter, and the grandchild rider on final expense. The grandchild rider is cost per child. The children's insurance agreement is just a cost per unit. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 7 kids, you can cover them for one cost per unit. And it's still going to insure or cover their future insurability. It still can be convertible up to 5 times the face amount. Great benefit to have on your life insurance products. Accidental death can be added. The spouse term rider can be added only on home protector. Very liberal bill chart, as you can see. I mean, I'm really 5'7". I like to call myself 5'8", but I can get up close to 3 bills and still fit into the maximum weight on our bill chart. So that should never really, if it's an issue that there's a insurability issue, unfortunately. But we do feel like this is one of the most liberal, if not the most liberal bill chart out there. Some phone interviews are required on our products. I would ask you to refer to your agent guides for a chart that will help you show if you're doing it on our e-app. At the end of the e-app, it's going to tell you if a phone interview is required. Term Made Simple is the most liberal when it comes to that one or that aspect. And just a couple of reminders. Number one, especially with our final expense, although it can be done with term as well, no one is in sync with the Social Security funding schedule better than we are. We're not the only ones that do it, but no one's in better sync than we are. Does a wonderful job for persistency, keeping policies on the books, making accommodations for those that get their money on the 1st or the 3rd of every month when it falls on a weekend. We know when they're getting it. We're going to draft it accordingly. Your e-app can be done on insuranceapplication.com and just select the mobile application icon. We also have a phone quoter that's super popular. You can bookmark that link onto your phone. And last but not least, this slide needs to be updated. We just consolidated all of our 2020 numbers, and we are proud to announce, and it should be rolling out in just a couple of days, actually. We're proud to announce that we paid over $100 million in claims in 2020. I believe it was 104 million, maybe 105 million. But we appreciate all of the work that you do for your clients, and we are, we're as happy as we can be as a carrier to pay the claims to say that we're going to pay. We know that our partnership with you all and us are providing a great benefit to family and loved ones when there is a death and a policy in force. If you have any questions, we strongly encourage you and Michelle and Mike, feel free to pass along my cell phone number. We're happy to answer any questions at any time. I'm not always available in the evening, but I certainly love helping out if I can.
Well, Pete, we really appreciate that. You really killed this presentation. $91 million in claims last year. I mean, it's massive. And and the PowerPoint was a real big help. I just encourage everyone to try these products out. Pete is a great resource for all of us, and please feel free to use him. And I know that it took a few weeks to get you on this call, buddy, because I know you're traveling and you have a family, and so we really appreciate your time this evening. And if you want to go ahead, feel free. You can jump off the call. We'll probably stay on for another 10 minutes and finish up But I mean, I think I had one question it was just the nursing home, the premium waiver for the nursing home. So I'm guessing that's waived for as long as they're in the nursing home.
Yeah, because we know that unfortunately, if they're in the nursing home for 90 consecutive days, unfortunately, they're there. You know, they're not coming out, and we would rather have, you know, it's not an expensive. It is a for-cost rider, but it's not super expensive. You know, they've been paying for it. We know they're probably not coming out, and you know, we're going to waive that premium.
Very good. Very good. Well, again, I mean, the length of time for the term policies, that's a big thing. Your term made simple, reasonable rates, that's a very big thing. And, you know, the under 49 market for the final expense is another,
You were breaking up. Yeah, we lost your sound.
okay, is that better?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
I can hear you good.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, just some of the term options, the reasonable rates on the term made simple, a lot of options on length of time. So getting people to the age of 85 on a term product is a big deal. And a lot of our companies don't do that. So again, thank you for your time, Pete. And feel free, you can jump off the call. I know you got.
Appreciate your time.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
so much, all of you. I appreciate the opportunity. And let me know if I can help, okay? I hope I helped a little bit tonight. Let me know if I can help in the future.
Yes, you
Thanks so
did.
much.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Good night. Thank you all very much.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, hang on with me because I have another folks. I have someone on our call today, one of our team members Betty, who lives in Indiana, just submitted an annuity for, I don't know, Betty, you're going to tell them about it because I don't know all the details, but I know that this was a first for you. And so if you wouldn't mind, unmute yourself, tell everybody who you are, and just, yeah, tell us who you are, and you just, really, it's your first annuity.
Yes, it is. I'm very excited about it. There's a friend of mine. She was a school teacher. She's retired. And we were talking one day, and she was telling me, I asked her what had happened with her retirement. And she said, well, she was kind of concerned because a while back she had lost about $10,000 on account of the stock markets and stuff. So I told her that our company has some great programs where that would not happen to her. So I got in contact with Chris Norris, and I sent the green sheet, and we did a three-way conversation, phone call with Karen. And so they helped me get that going, and he did. I sent him the stuff, about her retirement, and then we got into he did an analysis, and then after we did all that, then he told me to send it, to the Alleman Company, and we would take care of it. So it was very exciting, and it's I feel so good about it because she was
Betty, how much was it?
$133,000.
133,000, probably maybe a $5,000 or $6,000 paycheck. How long did it take you to do that?
It took me about 4 weeks.
But in terms of total hours.
Oh, well, this was my first time to do it. So everything was a learning process. We've done a lot of training during that time. I went to a lot of different trainings and everything. So I would say that I'm sure that my second one would not take more than 2 weeks. I probably had 20 hours in it.
Sure. Very good. Well, again, it was your first time.
Yes.
But just knowing that you could call on Chris Norris and he really walked you through it all. You didn't have to know everything. You didn't have to be the expert, did you?
No. I certainly wasn't the expert.
You
But
just
he was.
you just introduced the expert to her, and then you got the paperwork signed.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And
So-
because of that- And then because of that, though, I think we have 2 other people that are going to have me to do theirs too. So now I'll be an expert by the time I do the 3rd one.
Did you say she was a retired teacher?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So guess who retired teachers know?
Other retired teachers.
Other retired teachers. And other retired teachers know more retired teachers. So when you get in that market, it's going to be just a referral to referral to referral. As long as you keep asking them, who do you know that might need some help with their retirement?
Right. Yes, and we've got some other people that are really interested in, even doing the insurance. And one of them is a doctor, and we have an appointment to meet with her too, because she only has to work a couple of days a week because she's the one that puts you under, when you're having surgery and stuff. And she's just bored, and she's just really very, very interested in doing stuff like this. So once the door opens, and you just have to talk about it, that you just have to tell people what you're doing, and it's exciting, and you're helping somebody. That's what makes you feel good about it, is helping someone.
Exactly. And so I'm excited for you, Betty. This is just the first of many more annuities. I just want you guys to know that, in the world, people are retiring 10,000 a day are turning 65. And that means that they're going to be transferring their retirement somewhere. There are also incredible things happening in the world every day that make people think, yes, I probably need insurance.
Wow.
For example, in the last couple of weeks, there's been 3 mass shootings. Okay. Colorado, California, and then somewhere else. I mean, I can't even keep up. And so, seriously, the need is there for insurance, and the timing is now. I believe that each and every one of you can go out there. Here's the facts. If you go see the people and you mess it up, you're still going to write insurance. If you call us, we'll help you write even more insurance and get it right the first time. But it's the activity that's going to create the sales. And so go out and try and set up as many appointments as you can this week. Sit down in front of people, whether it's warm market, cold market, leads, whatever the case may be. But let's make this April 2021 our best April ever. Okay. And guys, Betty, I'm so fired up for you. Again, I know you're going out to see some people. I know you're writing some life insurance. Be sure to turn in your numbers. We have a sales meeting in the morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. And I just want to thank you all for your time this evening. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you learned something that you can take with you. And please feel free to call us any questions that you have. How about anyone else have any comments, Megan?
Heck yeah, I'm gonna write some more Occidental this week, baby. Also, bonus points for anybody who can guess the wrapper on my wine bottle. I'm just kidding.
It's
Snoop
really-
Dogg.
What'd you say, Sharon?
I said Snoop Dogg. It's about
Snoop
Fan.
Dogg. Yes.
Hey!
Sharon already had bonus points, but you get more.
You get $5.
Seriously,
all
Sharon,
right. I'll be looking for it.
how did you see that? Am I just
No, how did that? I don't know. Maybe we just got a vibe.
Oh, she didn't tell you. You just have better eyes.
No, she's just good. But good night, y'all. I'm gonna go open Snoop
Oh,
Dogg.
good night, everybody.
y'all in the
Thank
morning.
you.
Good job.
Congratulations, Betty. Bye.